Hi, I'm Mike Gough, Marketing Director for the Troopers Drum and Bugle Corps. I'm standing here today with Mr. Mike Ottoes, who's the Executive Director of the Troopers. We are now in the middle of the Rocky Mountain Rivalry, our annual fundraising battle that we do against the Blue Knights. And so Mike, tell me a little bit about what does it take to really put this whole drum corps on the road from a financial perspective?
Well, it's quite a big deal. To feed the corps alone is about $10,000 a week. It's 4 meals a day, and they're very well fed, and it's an expensive proposition, but it's well worth it. And that's obviously just part of the cost of getting the corps on the road. There's transportation costs, payrolls, all of those things that come into giving the kids the best experience that we can.
And so what are like the financial challenges of fundraising, over the year? I mean, it seems like there's tuitions that kids pay, there's bingo. What more do we need?
Right. The tuition and the bingo fundraising are only a portion of the money needed to get the corps on the road. A huge part of our budget is fundraising, and that's where we depend on the support of the Trooper Nation to help us meet the gap between tuition and bingo and the rest in order to get the corps on the road.
So I understand that the Wyoming economy has kind of had a hard year.
Yes.
How has that impacted the Troopers?
Yeah, the economy in Wyoming definitely has had a few rough patches, and because of that we have seen some of the revenue that we depend on through the years go down a little bit. Bingo revenue has gone down a little bit, donations have gone down a little bit, so we've had to really try and adjust for that and trying to do the best we can to overcome those challenges, and that's where we could really use some help in overcoming those challenges.
So this year is kind of an important year to kind of get it back on track.
It is. It's a very important year for us to kind of get back to where we need to be, and that's where we depend on the support of the Trooper Nation for that.
So what happens if the Troopers win this competition against the Blue Knights? What do the Blue Knights have to do?
Well, I believe that Mr. Mark Arnold has to pay the price for that. I believe that some Trooper gear is set for him to wear when we do win this.
Yeah, I heard something about potentially that Fred's hat might be involved.
Well, I certainly hope so. I think Mark would look very good in Fred's hat.
All right.
Very good.
So where are we standing right now? What is this?
This is the food truck for the Troopers. This is where we feed the members every day, 4 times a day, where all the magic happens, and this is how we keep them going. We fuel them, and this is the food truck, and Sterling Boch is the king of the food truck, and he's the one that keeps us all going.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Mike. It's been great talking to you. We're going to go onto the food truck right now and meet Sterling Boch, the head chef of the Troopers Drum and Bugle Corps. Let's go take a look at the inside of this thing. It's a mammoth deal. I mean, it's a huge truck. It's a full-size kitchen on the inside. Here is the inside of the food truck, and down here is the master of the kitchen, Mr. Sterling Boch. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Good to see you. So what are you doing? Are you stirring water? Is that what's happening?
Stirring
here?
water, keeping it hot.
So tell me a little bit about what goes on in here.
Well, this is where we feed over 200 kids 4 times a day, every day, 7 days a week for 12 weeks on tour.
So does it get pretty hot in here?
It gets really hot in here.
Yeah.
We got fans and stuff like that, but we move around and it can get pretty warm, especially when we're cooking. We got the ovens and the stove and the grill working at the same time.
So Mike was telling me that it takes about $10,000 a week to feed this organization. Can you tell me a little bit about maybe the breakdown of like how does that go into the stock, the inventory and all that?
Well, we shop daily at local grocery stores to get the things that we can't carry, like bread and milk and things like that, and then we get a delivery once a week from U.S. Foods, and that's a fairly substantial delivery. It runs anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 a delivery. We store it all in the truck, and we feed the kids out of the truck every week using all that food. How
important is the nutrition factor? I mean, we hear about all these drum corps that everybody has food trucks these days, but why is what they are eating? How does that really play the role in their daily impact on the field?
Well, it's important to understand what they're doing. They're burning so many calories a day that we do full meals. We do breakfast, it's not just cereal. We do a whole complement of things. We offer them many choices in order to make sure that they get something that they eat and that they enjoy it and that they actually eat it. So we do a full breakfast, a full lunch, a full, very substantial dinner, and sometimes a snack in the evening. And it's always usually something that's prepared, and it takes quite a bit of work.
What do you think is the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge is catering to the needs of the many children that we have and young adults that we have that go on tour, is making sure that everybody gets something that they're going to enjoy. The other challenge is staying the best food truck in the Corps, because we feed our kids very, very well. They have some excellent food, and staying on top of that is definitely a challenge.
And you do this all by yourself?
No, we have to have volunteers to help this. This truck does not run without volunteers. I can do it by myself, but I would last maybe a week. So
Then you pass out from the heat, probably, right?
yeah, there's that. We also we have an average of 3 to 4 volunteers that run with us throughout the week. We can't, as you can see, the truck is kind of tight, so it's a little difficult to get more than that. So, but we do have extra volunteers that help on the outside that do the tables and keep the food moving as well. So it fluctuates.
Now, do those volunteers, is it just one team the entire summer?
No, we actually have volunteers coming on sometimes just for a weekend. And sometimes for a week. It's difficult for people to take time out of their lives to jump on the food truck and do that for that length of time. But so it fluctuates. The other challenge is getting them all trained up and ready to go on a daily basis. So.
Well, there it is, guys. I mean, this is the food truck. You've heard about a little bit about the financial obligations we have to meet in order to keep this drum corps moving forward and healthy, you know. And from what I understand as well, you know, volunteering not just in the food truck but on the driving staff. We're always looking for drivers. Even now, we are on the hunt for drivers. So please, if anybody wants to jump on the tour and be a part of this great organization, we're about halfway through the season, and we are just about halfway through this Rocky Mountain Rivalry, which this year I hope, and with your help, we're going to win.
I'd be safe to say that anybody that donated over $1,000 would be welcome to choose from our illustrious menu of food items for their favorite dish, and then come have dinner with the troopers. I'd be more than happy to feed somebody that would be willing to donate that kind of money.
Well, now that's some serious customization going on right there. The head chef of the troopers has just said anybody that's willing to donate $1,000, he will customize the meal for you, and you can come down here and eat with the troopers. Find us on tour. You can see the schedules at dci.org, or you can find us at troopersdrumcorps.org. To donate to the Rocky Mountain Rivalry, you can find it at rockymountainrivalry.org. I'm Mike Gough, Marketing Director with the Troopers. Have a good day.